Hey Restoration, just wanted to do a quick update. A number of things happening in the life of our church, and rather than writing it all down and making you read it, who wants that? We decided to do a quick little video for you. I just want to give you some updates. Number one, Jaden Tanguma is starting our student ministry off with a bang, and it's been really fun to see Jaden being at work and getting to work with kids. And so we've got some other things coming on the calendar, but just so you know, it's just really good start to everything student ministry. Our giving is continuing to be very steady, and we just wanted to thank you for that. Thank you for keeping our staff employed and ministry rolling and all the things that you do with your faithful giving. I want to encourage you to keep giving, especially as we head into the holiday season. And also with our Acts 4 fund, it has been a huge blessing to so many people inside of our church and outside of our church who have needed some financial relief. And so make that a part of your pattern over and above what you're normally giving to our church. That would be a huge, huge help. A couple quick things. House churches have been really, really great. And we've seen a lot, and we've heard a lot of great stories from folks all over, including those of you who are still on the Zoom house church. We're really glad you're on the Zoom house church because you are taking initiative to still be in community, and yet even if you're not ready to be live. And so as we see COVID rates go up, we have a number of people in our church who are frontline workers and teachers and things like that. We just wanted to remind ourselves as a community what we're about when we approach some of our decisions. So I wanted to bring Ben Ewing in to talk a little bit about our heart when it comes to moving forward as a church with COVID. So come on in, Ben.
Doing the message outside, staying 6 feet apart. Who else is super annoyed and over this whole COVID thing? You can count me in wholeheartedly with that one. I am tired of the extra decisions. I'm tired of the extra concern. I'm tired of the conversations about comfort and what we should or shouldn't be doing as a community. And I want to share an example and then talk a little bit about what I think our overall response should be as a community, or what I'm trying to do. And my example is, if let's just pretend that someone in your house church had a potential exposure to COVID. What do you do? So our thinking on a lot of this is starts out with, well, I mean, do you just come? Do you just show up to house church? Do you show up with a mask? Do you show up with extra distance? Do you reach out to the facilitators or host and say, I had a potential exposure, how does everyone feel? Is everyone comfortable if I was to come, even if I kept my distance? Like, there's so many layers of that question. I guess what I wanted to go into there is I want to change the question from all of those things, all the different concerns, to how can I best care for my community? And in this case, I think that means not showing up that week. I think that means flexing, having a Zoom call into your house church and just not showing up. And I think the reason for that is to stay focused on our community and stay focused on loving one another. And so in that spirit, I wanted to read 1 Corinthians 9, this is 19 through 23. And Paul says, even though I am a free man with no master, I've become a slave to all people to bring many to Christ. When I was with the Jews, I lived like a Jew to bring the Jews to Christ. When I was with those who follow the Jewish law, I too lived under that law, even though I am not subject to the law. I did this so I could bring to Christ those who are under the law. When I am with the Gentiles who do not follow the Jewish law, I too live apart from the law so that I can bring them to Christ. But I do not ignore the law of God. I obey the law of Christ. When I am with those who are weak, I share in their weakness, for I want to bring the weak to Christ. Yes, I try to find common ground with everyone, doing everything I can to save some. And so with that, I would love the conversation to turn from who's comfortable with what, how do we, how do we continue to gather, to how do I take care of my community?
So we are in this series in Philippians talking about living as citizens of the gospel of the King, and this is in a way for us to practice that with each other, caring for each other intentionally, being in each other's lives, even if that means stepping back from meeting in person. So if you're a part of a house church, all of our house church leaders know that at any time we can set up a Zoom house church link to give you guys the space to do what you need to do. And we want to keep being intentional, though, of being together. Don't give up being together, even if it means virtually. Couple other things. Normally around this time of the year, we do our budget. And this year's no different, although it's just looked a little different in how it's come together. So we will have a budget to present to our church, to you, especially members of our church. And then in early December, we're gonna have an all-church Zoom meeting where you can hear updates from a whole bunch of different places in our church, how we're doing with students and children and everything, and some of our plans for 2021, even though 2021 looks a little foggy. So we wanna honor you and bring you into the workings of what's happening behind the scenes, just to let you know. And then finally, this is our birthday week. Restoration turns 9 years old this week, and what I wanted to do was to get everybody together, do a huge meal, cater in some food, celebrate, tell stories, pray, maybe do some baptisms, just to do it all. But it just didn't seem like a wise decision. And that's okay. That's all right. We will continue on. We will be together one day, eating and drinking and celebrating what God has done, but it's just not right now. So I want to encourage you, reach out if you have any questions, if you need information. We love you, church. Hang in there, have a great weekend, and we'll be together soon. Then there's Ben. Goodbye.